Most people don't fail because they lack ambition. They fail because they never built the system. They had a dream, a goal, a vision so clear it lit their eye, but the flame dimmed. Not because they stopped wanting it, but because they didn't have a structure that made it inevitable. And that's the silent reason behind most broken dreams. Welcome to a truth few talk about. Goals don't work without systems. Yes, that vision board, that list of 5-year goals, those daily affirmations, none of them matter if they're not attached to something repeatable, something sustainable. You see, the world celebrates big wins. The millionaire who made it from nothing, the artist who created a masterpiece, the athlete who broke every record, but what we don't see is the daily system behind it. What if I told you that your future success, wealth, health, peace can become effortless? Not because it's easy, but because it becomes automatic. In this video, you're going to discover the secret architecture that makes lasting success predictable. We'll reveal why most goal-setting advice silently leads you to burnout. We'll uncover the psychology of habit loops and how they quietly run your life. And you'll learn how the tiniest shift, just 1% a day, can reshape everything over time. But this isn't just about habits. It's about identity. It's about building something so powerful that your future has no choice but to grow. And here's the twist. Most people build the wrong system. They work hard in cycles. They push, burn out, stop, then blame themselves. It's not their fault. They were playing a rigged game. One where goals are temporary and systems are invisible. But not anymore, because today you'll learn how to flip that script. You'll learn how to make progress without depending on motivation. How to design a day that effortlessly nudges you forward. How to engineer your environment to pull you in the direction of your dreams. And how to do it without feeling like you're chasing anything at all. In fact, by the end of this video, you'll start to see something strange. You'll look back and realize that success was never about intensity. It was about consistency. And consistency lives inside your system. We'll talk about why having goals is actually the easiest way to kill your momentum. Why Olympic coaches don't talk about winning gold medals. Why best-selling authors don't set word count goals. And why billionaires obsess over routines, not riches. There are people right now, right this moment, achieving massive results, not because they're smarter, but because they removed decision-making from the equation. They designed systems that made progress inevitable. No stress, no struggle, just quiet, controlled evolution. And here's a secret most people will never hear. Your future isn't built in the future. It's built in your system today. Each action you take, each decision you repeat, is like casting a vote for who you're becoming. So forget about trying harder. Start building smarter. This video will break down the step-by-step structure of a high-performance system. We'll explore how small habits lead to identity shifts, how to rewire the habit loop, and how to apply this to your career, your health, your relationships, your mind. This isn't a motivational boost. It's a blueprint, one that if you follow it, will make growth feel almost unfair. Because once your system is in place, you'll win by default. So if you've ever felt stuck, if your goals feel far, if you start strong and fade out, this is for you. Stay with us till the end. Because the final steps we'll share may change how you plan the next 10 years of your life. And the moment you apply them, you won't just set goals anymore. You'll build the system that achieves them. Welcome to Narrative Society, where ideas build lives. If you're ready to break free from the old way of thinking, if you're done chasing results without a map, then join us. Subscribe now, and let's start building this system. one that makes your future unstoppable. Before we talk about the power of systems, we need to understand why goals often fail, even when they start with passion and energy. Big goals can feel exciting at first. They light up our imagination, stir our ambition, and make us feel like change is right around the corner. But over time, that same goal can become overwhelming. The excitement fades, the energy dips, the vision begins to blur. What once felt inspiring now feels heavy, and that's because goals are destinations, not directions. They give us a target, but not a map. They tell us where we want to go, but not how to get there every single day. When life gets busy, stressful, or uncertain, goals don't carry us forward. Habits do. Without a system, a goal is just a hope, a vague wish. And no matter how strong your willpower is, it's not designed to win the long game alone. Willpower is like a battery. It drains, it resets slowly. It can be crushed by stress, distraction, or fatigue. That's why most New Year's resolutions don't survive past February. People rely on motivation, but motivation is temporary. People try harder instead of designing smarter. The truth is, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. What's a system? It's the structure you build around your actions. It's the daily rhythm that shapes your behavior, whether you feel motivated or not. A system is a habit loop on repeat, a set of simple, repeatable tasks that move you forward quietly. Systems are invisible, but they're powerful. They turn intention into motion. When you wake up and automatically stretch, journal, walk, or plan your day, that's not willpower, it's a system at work. When you save money every time you get paid without thinking, that's a system. When you create before you consume every morning, that's a system. Systems work even when you're tired. They don't need you to feel inspired. They only need you to show up. Slowly, they turn your scattered effort into predictable momentum. They take the pressure off your mind. No more guessing, no more fighting yourself. Just flow. Every successful person, whether they're aware of it or not, is living inside a system. Athletes don't train based on how they feel. Writers don't wait for inspiration. Entrepreneurs don't leave their habits to chance. They've built routines that carry their identity. Systems protect you from emotional turbulence. They anchor your progress. When the world gets loud, your system stays quiet. It reminds you who you are. It brings you back to what matters. And perhaps most importantly, it creates results you can build on. Not just random spikes of effort, but a steady rise. The beauty of a system is that it starts small. It doesn't demand transformation overnight. It asks for commitment, not perfection. 1 page a day becomes a book. $1 saved becomes a fund. 1 email sent becomes a business. 1 walk becomes a new body. Growth isn't loud, it's quiet, it's invisible, it's daily. And systems make that possible. Instead of asking, "What's my goal this year?" ask, "What's the system I can live inside every day?" That's how real change happens, not with willpower, but with design. So, before you make another list of goals, ask yourself, what structure will keep you moving when motivation fades? What system will you wake up inside tomorrow, next week, 6 months from now? Will you leave it up to chance, or will you build it with intention? The system doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real, something you can return to, no matter what the day brings, something that holds you up when life tries to pull you down. Goals can inspire you, but systems change you because they turn effort into evidence. They prove to you again and again that you're becoming who you said you wanted to be, quietly, consistently, effortlessly. When you can build a powerful system, you need to understand what drives it. At the core of every system is a loop, a pattern your brain follows over and over again without you even noticing. This pattern is called the habit loop. It's simple, but it explains so much about how you behave, why you do what you do, and how you can change it. The habit loop has 4 parts: cue, craving, response, and reward. Think of it like a cycle your mind runs through constantly. First, the cue. This is the trigger. It's what starts the behavior. It could be something you see, hear, feel, or even think. Waking up, feeling stressed, hearing a notification. All of these are cues. Your brain recognizes the cue and sends a signal. Something is about to happen. Next is the craving. This is the desire. But it's not the habit itself, it's the feeling you want from the habit. You don't crave brushing your teeth. You crave a fresh mouth. You don't crave checking your phone. You crave connection, distraction, or a quick dopamine hit. Cravings are the emotional power behind every habit. They pull you toward action. Then comes the response. This is the habit itself, the action you take. You brush your teeth. You scroll your phone. You open your laptop to work. The response is what you do in reaction to the craving. And finally, there's the reward. This is the payoff. The reason your brain decides, yes, that was worth it. Rewards satisfy the craving. They also teach your brain what to repeat. The stronger the reward, the more your brain wants to do it again. That's why bad habits stick. They offer fast, easy rewards. But once you understand the habit loop, you can use it for good. You can design it. You can tweak each step to serve you instead of control you. It starts with the cue. Make it obvious. If you want to write every day, leave your notebook open on your desk. If you want to exercise, lay out your shoes the night before. The more visible the cue, the more likely your brain will respond. Then, amplify the craving. Link the habit to your identity. Don't just think I should read more. Think, I am a reader. When your identity matches your behavior, craving becomes natural. Next, simplify the response. Make it easy. Want to start meditating? Start with 60 seconds. Want to journal? Write 1 line. Small responses remove friction. And finally, reinforce the reward. Make it satisfying. Check off a habit tracker. Celebrate the action. Smile at the progress. When your brain feels good, it wants to return to the loop. This is where atomic habits comes in. James Clear's groundbreaking idea that small changes lead to big results. He calls it the power of 1% better every day. Not by aiming high, but by starting small and repeating. One tiny habit compounded over weeks and months becomes a system. 1 degree of change made every day doesn't look like much at first, but over time, it transforms your trajectory. It's like flying a plane. A 1 degree shift in direction doesn't seem huge, but after hundreds of miles, you land in a completely different place. Habits work the same way. The system you live inside, made of your daily loops, becomes your future, and that's why systems outperform sheer effort. Effort is limited. It requires energy, focus, and discipline. You can push hard for a while. You can grind, but you will hit a wall. Discipline fades. Motivation dips. Willpower tires. A system doesn't. A system is automatic. It removes the need to decide. It creates behavior that flows. A good system doesn't ask for more effort. It makes effort irrelevant. You don't need to push harder when the action is already wired into your day. That's the beauty of design, and it all begins with mastering the habit loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. 4 steps, 1 loop, infinite potential. You don't change your life by making a giant leap. You change it by mastering that loop, repeating it with intention, rebuilding it when it breaks, refining it until it fits you perfectly. That's when real transformation happens, not with willpower, but with wisdom, not with intensity, but with systems. When your habits align with who you want to become, the future starts to shape itself quietly, effortlessly, and without resistance. And it all begins with that single loop, repeating in your favor. The most powerful systems are built not around what you want to achieve, but around who you want to become. This is the heart of identity-based habits. When you focus only on the result, like losing weight, writing a book, or building a business, you create an outcome-based mindset. But outcomes are fragile. They depend on motivation, mood, and progress. Identity, on the other hand, is rooted deep. It drives behavior from the inside out. If you want lasting change, start by asking, who do I want to be? Because every action you take is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. If your goal is to read more, saying, I will read a book every week, is an outcome, but saying, I am a reader, changes the equation. Now, every time you pick up a book, you're proving your identity, the same action, but a different anchor. Identity-based systems are built around reinforcing that internal image. If you tell yourself, I'm a healthy person, it's easier to skip junk food because it contradicts your identity. The decision becomes automatic. It's no longer about restriction. It's about consistency with who you are. These systems stick because they don't rely on external pressure. They grow from internal alignment. The more you act in alignment with your identity, the stronger that identity becomes. And the stronger your identity, the easier it is to maintain the habits that support it. It's a loop of reinforcement. You act like the person you want to be, and in doing so, you become them. Building a system around identity requires clarity. You have to define who you are aiming to become, not in vague terms like successful or happy, but in specific ways. I am someone who writes every day. I am someone who saves money. I am someone who treats others with patience. From there, you build habits that reinforce that statement. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be consistent enough to let your system carry you when motivation doesn't show up. To make these identity-based systems work, you can follow the 4 laws of system design. These are the guiding principles that make a habit stick, not by force, but by design. The first law, make it obvious. Your environment is full of cues, and your brain is trained to respond to them. If your habit cue is hidden, it gets skipped. If it's in front of you, it becomes hard to ignore. Want to read every morning? Leave the book on your pillow. Want to drink more water? Keep a full bottle next to your laptop. The clearer the cue, the quicker the habit takes root. The second law, make it attractive. Your brain is wired for pleasure. If a habit feels boring or forced, it gets dropped. But when it feels rewarding or enjoyable, you come back to it. Pair the habit with something positive. Listen to music while cleaning. Light a candle before journaling. Habit stacking helps too. Link a new habit with one you already enjoy. If your system feels good, it grows stronger. The third law, make it easy. Complexity kills momentum. Simplicity creates flow. Don't aim for perfect. Aim for possible. Want to write? Start with 1 sentence. Want to work out? Do 1 stretch. Lower the barrier so low that it feels silly not to start. Once you begin, momentum takes over. And that's the trick, making starting so frictionless that it becomes inevitable. Systems don't succeed because they're intense. They succeed because they're easy to repeat. The fourth law, make it satisfying. Your brain needs to feel a reward, not months later, but now. Checking a box, crossing a task off a list, adding a streak to your calendar, these small wins feed your motivation. The feeling of completion sends a signal that says, do this again. That's how habits stick. You want your system to deliver small, instant victories every time. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to feel complete. When all 4 laws are in place, obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying habits stop feeling like work. They become part of your day, part of your environment, and most importantly, part of your identity. You're no longer trying to change who you are. You're proving who you already are. And that's the key to sustainable growth. Your system isn't something you force. It's something you step into every day with intention and ease. Designing your life around these principles removes the guesswork. No more asking, do I feel like doing this today? Your identity answers for you. Your environment supports it. Your system makes it simple. Change becomes the natural result of repeating who you are. And when that happens, the future starts to shape itself. Not in dramatic leaps, but in daily actions that echo a deeper truth. You've become the person you once dreamed of being, one small decision at a time. Change doesn't require a huge leap. It begins with a small, intentional step, a micro habit, something so easy you can't say no to it. That's the starting point for any effective system. Choose one micro habit that supports the identity you're building. It could be one sentence in your journal, one glass of water, one deep breath, one push-up. The key isn't intensity, it's consistency. A micro habit removes the barrier between you and action. It's not meant to impress anyone, it's meant to create momentum. You don't need a perfect plan, you need movement. One page leads to 10, one step leads to many. But the first step has to feel effortless. Once you have your micro habit, the next step is stacking. Attach it to a routine that already exists in your day, something that happens without fail. Brushing your teeth, making coffee, turning on your computer, locking the door at night. These are anchors. When you stack a new habit on top of an existing one, you don't need to remember it. It rides the rhythm of your day. Say, after I make coffee, I'll write 1 line, or after I brush my teeth, I'll stretch for 1 minute. That small act of placement turns a habit from something optional into something automatic. The third step is to track it. Your brain loves progress. It craves visible evidence that you're moving forward, so build a habit tracker. Digital, physical, it doesn't matter. Cross off each day you complete your micro habit. Watch the streak build. Feel the rhythm form. A tracker gives your system shape. It makes your growth tangible. You begin to see that you are the kind of person who shows up, who honors the commitment, even on low-energy days, especially on low-energy days. But systems are not rigid. They grow. That's the 4th step. Adjust and scale gradually. A habit that starts as 1 sentence can become a paragraph. A minute of movement can become a workout. Don't rush. Let the habit grow naturally. Let it earn your trust. Adjust the habit when your schedule changes. Scale it up when it feels too easy. Pull it back when life gets heavy. Systems must serve you, not the other way around. They're meant to be flexible, not fixed. When you grow, the system should grow with you. This is where the no 0 days rule becomes powerful. On tough days, you don't need to hit your best numbers. You only need to keep the chain alive. Do something, anything that honors your system. 1 push-up, 1 line, 1 mindful breath. The smallest effort counts, because it keeps your identity intact. You didn't skip the habit, you showed up. That matters more than progress. Because once you break the chain, it becomes easier to break it again. But when you protect the streak, even with minimal effort, your momentum survives. The day wasn't a loss, it was a win. And that mindset builds a foundation of resilience. The no 0 days mindset removes guilt and replaces it with grace. It reminds you that perfection isn't required. Presence. Just show up. Do the minimum. Trust that it's enough. This approach keeps you moving forward even through sickness, stress, fatigue, or travel. It trains your mind to stop measuring progress in intensity and start measuring it in consistency. It's not about how much you do, it's about not stopping. As your system grows, take time to review it. Once a week, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what worked this week? What felt hard? What didn't fit my rhythm? What made me feel strong? What needs to be tweaked? This simple habit of reflection gives your system life. You stop living on autopilot, you start becoming an architect. A weekly system review gives you space to realign your actions with your goals. It's not about judgment, it's about awareness, and awareness leads to refinement. Tweak your habits gently. Remove friction. Add clarity. Replace what's not working. Keep what flows. Systems aren't set in stone, they're living frameworks. They should evolve with you, just like your goals do. Maybe your life gets busier. Maybe your goals shift. Maybe your energy changes. That's normal. Don't punish yourself for changing. Update your system to reflect who you are becoming. Over time, what started as a simple micro-habit becomes a lifestyle. One sentence becomes a novel. $1 saved becomes a financial foundation. One breath becomes emotional control. You realize it was never about doing more, it was about doing something, and doing it daily. That's how you grow effortlessly. That's how you build a future that doesn't depend on bursts of effort, but on the quiet strength of daily presence. Progress isn't a straight line, it's a slow spiral upward. Some weeks you'll feel powerful. Other weeks you'll feel like you're just surviving. But if your system holds you, if your habits are built around grace, identity, and rhythm, you'll keep moving. The future won't feel like a mountain. It will feel like the next step, and then the next, always manageable, always within reach. That's the power of practical steps. Pick one micro habit, stack it, track it, adjust it. Don't break the chain. Reflect and refine. Let the system grow as you do. This is how you stop chasing goals and start becoming the person who doesn't need to chase. Because growth becomes a part of your identity, not something you chase, something you live. Small systems lead to big future growth. When you shift your focus from outcomes to identity, from goals to habits, and from effort to design, real transformation begins. Every micro habit, every repeated action, every no 0 day compounds into something far greater than you can see right now. Your future doesn't grow from massive leaps. It grows from small, smart steps taken daily. So start simple today. Build tomorrow effortlessly. Choose one habit. Stack it. Track it. Let it evolve. Let your system carry you where willpower cannot. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more life-changing ideas. Let's build the future one habit at a time.